Welcome to Manufacturing News Network. My name is Jason Moss, and I'm the founder of the Georgia Manufacturing Alliance. And we're really excited today to be talking with Grant Gibson. And Grant is the co-founder and chief development officer for one of our newest members in GMA, a company called Synthica. We had an opportunity to meet several months ago. We hosted the Greener Manufacturing Show in Atlanta. We've done that for the past 2 years. And a mutual friend of ours kind of did a quick introduction in the hallway. I had noticed that Synthica's logo was sponsoring a couple parts of that big event here in Atlanta. And I was really excited to be able to get to meet Grant. He told me a little bit about what was going on. One thing led to another. He found out about what we do at GMA, and he said, man, I want to be a part of that. And I'm like, man, we really want to be a part of what you guys are doing in Georgia. So I'm excited to have you here with us and to be able to help all of our members in GMA get to know you a little bit better and learn a little bit about what you do, because what you do is pretty unique in the space. So Grant, if you would, tell us just a little bit about yourself, and then tell us a little bit about Synthica and what you guys do.
Yeah, Jason, thanks for having me and having Synthica as part of the Georgia Manufacturing Alliance. So a little bit about myself. I'm co-founder, chief development officer with Synthica Energy. We are a developer of anaerobic digestion facilities across the United States. And what does that mean? We take in what we call industrial byproducts, or organic waste streams from all different types of manufacturers. So food, beverage, different types of, call it oleochemicals or organic chemicals that produce a byproduct that are organic in nature. We take those byproducts, which are considered waste. We take those wastes and run them through an anaerobic digestion process, which is really just the breakdown of organic materials in the absence of oxygen. So we break it down, and then in the last part of the digestion process, we produce biomethane. And biomethane, obviously with the name methane in it, it is very trace levels of carbon. And so what you end up with is, when you take that raw biomethane and you clean it up or upgrade it, we end up producing renewable natural gas. That renewable natural gas is actually a direct replacement for natural gas. Burns the same, has the same heat value. And then we inject to local utilities or pipelines.
Okay, so renewable natural gas, that's one of the things I kind of got caught on. It was RNG is kind of that's what you hear on the street. That's how that fits, right?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. RNG, or renewable natural gas.
Okay. And that can be used in industry there's not any difference, right, between that and the natural gas as far as the use in industrial applications, right?
Correct. Yeah. So if we have a certain spec or specification that we have to hit in regards to the quality and the purity of the renewable natural gas that we produce. So when we do upgrade it from raw biomethane into renewable natural gas, and then we inject it into a pipeline or a local utilities pipes, anyone in the region or that is a direct consumer of natural gas can burn that renewable natural gas just the same. So there's no adjustments that need to be made or anything, because we have to hit literally the same exact specification as the natural gas that's already in the pipes.
Okay. Good deal. Well, tell us about where you're located. Where are you at in Georgia, and then and other areas around the U.S.?
Yeah, so we've got a site in Rome, Georgia. It is part of the Rome Development Authority's industrial park on West Hermitage Road. We sited there because, one, there's a large presence of food and beverage manufacturing in the greater Atlanta region. And so when you look at, we have folks ask us, why did you locate in Rome? One is we built a great relationship with the development authority there. There's year-round demand for natural gas in that area, and that's a big requisite for us. And there's great highway access as well. So we can easily get to major parts of the region in a very short period of time, a short drive time via truck. Because we do any of the waste streams that we take in to digest, they are brought in by truck.
Okay.
So we do need that type of highway access as well.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit about the waste streams you said you bring in. What are some of the companies? What are some of your suppliers for your raw goods, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we talk about any of the waste streams that we typically look at, any of the companies, like for example, Anheuser-Busch in Cartersville, they've got a large brewery there where we're able to consume or digest the spent yeast, not necessarily the spent grains, but the
Mhm.
spent yeast that comes off their process. It's considered high strength. And so it's usually problematic for them and other types of companies that produce, whether it's a high strength wastewater off of food and beverage manufacturing, even what's considered a DAF sludge that comes off of if you're a food manufacturer and you have an on-site wastewater treatment plant. Um, there's usually a sludge byproduct off of that on-site wastewater treatment.
Mhm.
Again, because that sludge is considered high strength and has high organic value to it, we're able to take that as well. We can actually even take packaged product. So if you're a producer of some type of food or any type of, whether it's even cosmetics, shampoos, lotions, anything that's set up for, call it uh, human consumption,
Okay.
whether it's washing your hair, your body with a soap, or even consuming a food product, whether it's a liquid or a food, like I'll say Hot Pockets or Twinkies or sausage or you name it. We're actually able to depack that type of product and
Oh,
extract out the contents and then
right.
recycle the other materials. So the packaging, we're able to recycle that. So it's a wide range from liquids to what we call bulk solids to even on the packaged goods side. Uh, Primarily, when you look at even some of the kind of hard to deal with or hard to handle or hard to dispose of materials, most landfills don't want wet materials or liquids.
Okay.
They typically charge a pretty high disposal fee.
Mhm.
So we're able to actually take those liquids, no problem, as well as any wet material that comes off of any type of, as I mentioned before, just food and beverage manufacturing, different types of chemicals, biopharmaceuticals, you name it.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Well, that's one of the things that I've heard that there's a little bit of challenge with in the food and beverage, especially with the soda manufacturers, right?
Yep.
So the syrups and the different things that they have in those containers, they can be kind of tricky to process through the typical landfill.
Yep.
So why would a company want to go that route? You said that, if the landfills don't really want the wet materials is one thing. I mean, kind of that's pretty self-explanatory, but what are the benefits for a manufacturing company to go to Synthica?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if, for example, if you're a company that has zero landfill goals,
Mhm.
that can be challenging because if you're producing any type of waste or byproduct from your manufacturing, and if you're zero landfill, your outlets are pretty numbered, many pretty small, meaning the number of outlets that are available to you. So you're either going to, if you're a food manufacturer, if you're able to send it to animal feed, great. But if you have a wastewater, high strength wastewater that can't be consumed or land applied, you're more than likely sending it out a long distance to either solidification, so mixing it with a dry material, and then eventually sent out to incineration.
Right.
Incineration facilities are pretty long distances from the greater Atlanta area. So we're able to save on not only drive distance and drive time, but even sometimes on the cost of the disposal fees. We do charge a disposal or a tipping fee, but because we're trying to strategically locate across the U.S., specifically Rome, Georgia, that way there can be savings on the hauling cost and the disposal cost if you're a zero landfill. Even when you have, and when I talk about high strength wastewaters, when you think about even the greater Atlanta region, if you're a manufacturer in that region, you have the local sewer district there is under consent decree where you're not able to discharge, call it high strength liquids.
Okay.
And if you do, there's heavy surcharges associated with that.
Right.
And what we have found that companies are actually able to put it on a tanker truck and haul it to us rather than send it down the drain.
Okay.
Um, and then even on the landfill piece, um, again, if you're zero landfill, it makes sense. But then even as I said before, with solidification, there could be cost reduction on disposal fees. The other piece is one of the most important things for us is that we're actually what we call a take or pay. So we guarantee receipt of the waste product. Landfills, even though you can have a contract with a landfill, the landfill could call you, Jason, tomorrow and say, hey, Jason, even though you're sending your waste stream, you're a manufacturer, you're sending us your waste stream, I'm Mr. Landfill. I need to turn you off today because I can't receive your material. And I can't tell you the next time I'm going to be able to receive it.
Oh, wow.
We're a little different to where we're able to actually commit and say, we'll guarantee receipt of it because we know how important it is for manufacturers to be producing all the time because that's how they make their money.
Right. Yeah, that could be detrimental in the production environment if you don't have a place to move that product to get
Absolutely.
it out, get it
For
off
sure.
site. So wow, interesting. So you're currently in Rome. Tell us a little bit about some of the, like I said, the other areas. Where are you at on your Rome facility?
Yeah, so in Rome, we just received our air permit over the summer, and late fall, or it was about fall, we received the air permit. We're in design right now to where the goal is to break ground in early 24, probably end of Q1, beginning of Q2, around there. To where we projected will be about a 12 to 15 month, call it build time, 12-month build time with about 90 to 180 days worth of commissioning. So when you get it built and you turn the lights on, it's kind of like starting with an empty stomach, because it is a living call it process. Because
Really?
we do use naturally occurring bacteria in different stages of the process. Just like what you would have in maybe a compost pile, where that's the use of oxygen to break down organic material.
Right.
We actually use bacteria that occur in environments that have no oxygen, so anaerobic. So we're like you said, finishing up design, and to where we'll have that finished up, and then, like I said, with commissioning, it's like starting with an empty stomach, and then we'll start to trickle in the waste streams of the customers that we've contracted with, and then get to full production across anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So that's probably one of the most exciting times for a digester is when you turn the lights on and say, okay, let's start feeding the stomach. So.
Right. Very cool. I tell you, man, it sounds like some exciting times. Once you get things kind of squared away where we can come take a visit, we'd love to come
Yeah,
out to
absolutely.
do a tour.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'd love to have people up at a tour, even when we're under construction, because we'll have what we call call it construction tours, where we'll have different signage along the way to say, hey, here's where this tank is going to go. Here's the receiving building. Here's this other type of tank. And then describing with pictures of everything it's kind of like walking through a museum that has kind of models along the way or depicts history kind of thing. Same kind of concept with us. It will be under construction, but we'll at least be able to show the different steps in the process and the different parts of the plant.
Okay. Perfect. Well, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. That should be lots of fun. Well, if somebody's, as you know, we work with all different kinds of manufacturers, from everything from mom and pop machine shops to, Starbucks. Actually, Starbucks has been a long time member of ours, to Gulfstream and Daniel Defense. We've got a couple really cool tours coming up soon. We're going to be touring Kia and Gulfstream. We'll be probably taking a tour of the port again this year. So we get to go out and see some really, really cool manufacturing companies. And King's Hawaiian was one that was real fun. And people say, well, what does a dinner roll have to do with a, $70 million aircraft? Well, it's still manufacturing. It's converting a raw product to a finished good using a machine. And you're using that same process in your finished goods, R&G, which is cool. So
yeah, actually, and interesting you mentioned that, because part of the equipment for our Cincinnati facility is actually being fabricated right outside of Rome, Georgia.
Nice.
Yeah. So
cool.
yeah,
that's cool. Well, we're here to help. I mean, we're excited that you're part of the team, and I know that you'll be an integral part of, especially the food and beverage. Now, that's your primary. Is that your primary customer base is food and beverage? Who else do we need to be looking for, or keeping our eyes out to make connections for you?
Yeah, everybody from food and beverage manufacturing to even, and you wouldn't think it, but we've got a neighbor nearby to our site in the Rome area that produces different types of beverage containers, and they actually use in their stamping process, they use food grade vegetable oil. And
Okay.
so when they use the food grade vegetable oil during their stamping process, when those containers go through the final rinsing stages, what do they end up with? An oily water. And what is that for them? A high strength wastewater.
Yep.
And who's able to take that? Synthica is. You wouldn't think that, but it's one of those ones where you start to talk to a manufacturer and they're like, oh, yeah, I got one of those for you.
Right.
And then you go out back and you look and you say, wow, you have this whole tank full of oily water and it's food grade vegetable oil mixed with water, and that's high strength for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not able to just send it down the drain.
Right.
So for us being very nearby, I mean, it's a major win for them,
Mm-hmm.
because that company is a zero landfill. They have a zero landfill initiatives. So it's anybody who produces, any manufacturer who produces any type of organic byproduct.
Okay.
So
That's a
I
perfect
mean,
food for you, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what's
I
that?
said that's a perfect food for you, right? For the system.
Exactly. Oily water like that, where it's a vegetable oil, a food-based oil.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, pharmaceuticals produce different byproducts. You name it. There's all these different waste products, waste streams out there that, for me, I never leave any stone unturned when it comes to that. So Jason, when you ask about who else should we be thinking about? Anybody who produces a product that ends up with with an organic byproduct, whether it's a solid or a liquid,
Okay.
we're more than likely able to take it.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, we'll definitely keep our eyes and ears open on that. And if there's anything specific that you need, that's one of the things that GMA will really work hard to provide a place for connections. If there's something that pops up that you guys need, again, anybody that's watching this that wants to reach out to Grant and Synthica, all of Grant's information, has done a great job on filling out his profile on GMA. So you'll see links to that in this video and on the audio side of it as well. But any other thoughts? What is it that what are you most excited about for 2024? What's the thing you're looking for?
I would say being able, when I meet with different manufacturers across any of the regions, and Jason, you'd asked earlier about where else are you building? We're building in Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Norco, Louisiana, so just west of New Orleans, and then Lebanon Junction, Kentucky, which is about 30 minutes south of Louisville, and then Cincinnati as well. I get really excited when I meet with different manufacturers, and when you see the smile on their face when they say, I've been waiting for one of these for a while, because I've got these big goals or these objectives to hit, and
Right.
all of them have to do with whether it's environmental stewardship, reducing emissions, you name it. And we really check a lot of those boxes for a wide range of manufacturers. So I really enjoy doing that, and I'm looking forward to that in 24. We're excited to be in Rome, Georgia. Like you said, the Rome Floyd Development Authority has been fantastic to work with. And I mean, there's a possibility that we could look at building a second one in Greater Atlanta because the
Nice.
demand is that high.
Yeah.
So we'll see, what time will tell on that one.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to meet other members of the GMA and really get to know everybody.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, that sounds good. Well, we have almost the first half of the year laid out on the calendar. So make sure that you and your team, when you have a chance, get out there and take a look at that, plug into as much as you can, because that's one of the great things about GMA is, we do almost nothing virtual. This is one of the very few things that we do virtually, but this is a way to help get you in front of more of our memberships, but also have a lot of our members find out about about the services that you guys provide. So The live events, we've got, we're going to tour Iron Age office in January, Aristotle in February, March, we're going to Kia. April, we're going to Endeavor 3D. It's a 3D printing, basically factory. And in May, we'll be doing, forget what we're doing on May, but it's all on the website, right? So I don't have to remember all of that. But the more that you and your team can plug in, the more the rest of the GMA family can get to know you guys and figure out how we can support each other. Because I think we got some fun times ahead in 2024. And again, we're really excited and thankful to have you on board with us.
Yeah, we're very grateful and appreciate you guys having us.
Perfect. Well, that sounds good. Well, with that, we're going to sign off, and we'll look forward to seeing you at upcoming events.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
All right. Thanks, buddy.